used in hospitals and laboratories must be tested periodically in order to confirm its potency and efficiency. As certain disinfectants lose their potency on standing, and by addition of organic matter, their efficiency must be tested. Certain methods help in selecting the right dilution of disinfectant for use. Others test the efficiency of disinfectant already in use. Some methods compare the performance with that of phenol, whereas the other methods simply state if the disinfectant is effective or not. One way to compare disinfectant is to compare how well they do against a non-disinfectant and rate them accordingly using the phenol coefficient. Here, the disinfectants to be tested is compared with phenol on a standard microbe, usually Salmonella typhi or Staphylococcus aureus. The disinfectants that are more effective than phenol will be having a coefficient that is greater than 1, and those that are less effective will be having a coefficient that is less than 1. When we discussed about the chemical methods in sterilization, we have already mentioned that phenol was the first widely used antiseptic and disinfectant. And today, phenol and phenol derivatives such as silenols, cresols, orthophenylphenol are used as disinfectants in laboratories and hospitals. The commercial disinfectant Lysol is made of the mixture of phenolics. So what is phenol? Phenol is an aromatic organic compound consisting of a phenyl group attached to a hydroxy group. It is also known as carbolic acid. It is a typical disinfectant used in determining the germicidal strength of another disinfectant. Actually, phenols act by denaturing proteins and disrupting cell membranes of the microorganisms, and they are also effective in the presence of organic material, and they remain active on the surfaces long after the application. And one of the disadvantages is that it is having a disagreeable odor and it can cause skin irritation. Let's see the definition of phenol coefficient. The phenol coefficient is a measure of the disinfecting power of a germicidal solution in relation to phenol. To calculate for phenol coefficient, the number indicating the degree of dilution of the disinfectant in which it kills the microorganism within a given time, that is in 10 minutes but not in 5 minutes, is divided by the number indicating the degree of dilution of phenol in which the latter kills the microorganism in the same period of time and under the same conditions. And after dividing the degree of dilution, if we are getting a phenol coefficient that is greater than 1, it indicates that the disinfectant is more effective than the phenol. That is the disinfectant under study, or the disinfectant which we have to know whether it is effective or not. It will be more effective than the phenol. In contrast, if we are getting a phenol coefficient that is lower than 1, that means that the disinfectant under study is less effective than the phenol. So let's see the first method, that is the Riddle-Walker method for the determination of phenol coefficient. In this, the test disinfectant is diluted from 1:400 to 1:800, and the phenol is diluted from 1:95 to 1:115. Their bactericidal activity is determined against Salmonella typhi suspension. The subcultures are performed from both the test and the phenol at intervals of 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10 minutes. And the plates are incubated for 48 to 72 hours at 37 degrees Celsius. So in this table you can see the dilution of test disinfectant, the dilution of the phenols, and Ng represents no growth and G represents growth. So you can see in various dilution and the growth of test organisms in subculture after exposure in various time period starting from 2.5 minutes and ending till 10 minutes. Let's take an example of the dilution of the test disinfectant, that is 1:400. In this, you can see when the organism is exposed to various time period exposure to the disinfectant. In the first minutes itself, there is no growth is obtained in the when it is exposed for the period of 2.5 minutes, because here the concentration of disinfectant is more. But as you go down, you can see that the concentration of disinfectant is getting reduced as it is more diluted. And for example, we can take 1:600 dilution. In this, the growth is obtained in 2.5 minutes, 5 minutes, and finally in the 7.5 minutes exposure time, here we can see that no growth is obtained. That is, the disinfectant is becoming effective only at the 7.5 minute of exposure of the organism. Similarly, we can see we can take the dilution of the phenol, that is 1:100. Here we can see that the no growth is obtained at the 7.5 minutes at 1:100 dilution. So by taking these two scenarios as examples, let's see how we can calculate the phenol coefficient of this particular test disinfectant. So after 7.5 minutes, the test organism was killed by the test disinfectant at a dilution of 1:600, and in the same period, that is at the 7.5 minute, the test organism was killed by phenol at a dilution of 1:100. So we can calculate the phenol coefficient by dividing the dilution of the test disinfectant divided by the dilution of the phenol, that is 600 by 100, and we will be getting the answer as 6. And this result indicates that the test disinfectants can be diluted 6 times as much as phenol and still possesses equivalent killing power for the test organism. Now we already know that a phenol coefficient that is greater than 1 indicates that the disinfectant is more effective than phenol, and even if we are only getting a phenol coefficient that is lower than 1, then only it means that the disinfectant is less effective than phenol. But still there are some disadvantages of the Riddle-Walker test method. Here no organic matter is included in it, and that the test condition that is chosen was very unrealistic. In realistic condition, there will be the presence of organic matter, and the microorganism Salmonella typhi may not be the appropriate organism to be used, and the time allowed for disinfection is very short. The next method to determine the phenol coefficient test is the Chick-Martin test. Unlike in Riddle-Walker method, where the test is carried out in water, here the disinfectants are made to act in the presence of yeast suspension or 3% dried human fecus to stimulate the presence of organic matter. So it can overcome the disadvantages of Riddle-Walker, which does not have any organic matter presence in it when performing the experiments. And here the time for subculture is fixed at 30 minutes, and the organism used to test efficiency is Salmonella typhi as well as Staphylococcus aureus. The phenol coefficient is lower than that by Riddle-Walker method. That is, in Chick-Martin test, the phenol coefficient will be comparatively lower when it is compared to Riddle-Walker method. Because in Riddle-Walker method, even though the condition chosen was very unrealistic, impossibly high values of phenol coefficient was obtained. So in order to avoid that disadvantage, in Chick-Martin test, lower values of phenol coefficient was obtained. So let's see the main difference between Riddle-Walker method and Chick-Martin method. Here the medium volume we are taking is 5 ml, and in Chick-Martin it is 10 ml. The diluent that is used for test disinfectant is in Riddle-Walker method is distilled water, whereas in Chick-Martin it is water with yeast suspension or fecus in order to promote the growth of organic matter. The reaction temperature on Riddle-Walker is around 17.5 degrees Celsius, whereas in Chick-Martin it is 30 degrees Celsius. The test organisms under Riddle-Walker is Salmonella typhi, whereas in Chick-Martin, along with Salmonella typhi, there is also Staphylococcus aureus. And the sampling times for Riddle Walker is 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10 minutes. Whereas in Chick Martin, it is 30 minutes. Longer duration is taken. And for the calculation of coefficient, dilution test killing in 7.5 minutes, and that is divided by the same for phenol is taken in the case of Riddle Walker method. Whereas in Chick Martin, mean concentration of phenol showing no growth after 30 minutes divided by the same for test is taken.